I haven't turned this camera on for a minute, and I want to apologize for that. But first, I want to tell you about this gig that I did on Saturday. It was in Chicago. Now, I live in Milwaukee. Chicago is about 80 miles away. And I thought on a Saturday we'd probably be okay. But there was really bad traffic starting in Milwaukee. And in fact, I got detoured off of the freeway all the way to the Illinois border. And then once I got near the Kennedy Expressway in Chicago, I had this crazy backup for a Saturday. And I kept putting on my brakes, and every time I did, I heard this clunk in the front end of my vehicle. And I'm like, oh no, something's going on, tie rods or something. This isn't right. Please just get me to this gig and we'll figure it out from there. So the event was being held just west of downtown, just west of the Loop, actually, near the United Center, if you know where that is. It's the old Michael Jordan's restaurant on the second floor. And it was a birthday party. A couple, both were turning 50 this year, and they wanted to have a century party. So combined, they're 100 years old. And it was all 70s disco and 80s music. It was a lot of fun. I don't really remember a lot about it, but I did pretty well. I played the songs that they had on their request list, and then I added my own things. And I went into overtime, so that's a good sign. Everybody had fun. And it wasn't a huge party. It was probably about, I don't know, maybe 100 people there, maybe a little less, but it was a good party. And yeah, ended up getting home probably at about 3 in the morning with more traffic on the way home from construction and things. But it really was one of the most difficult events I've ever had to do. And the reason it was so difficult is because that Saturday at about 2:20 a.m., I lost my father. And this had been something that we were hoping was going to get better. He'd been in the hospital most of the week, and we thought he was going to go home. But he took a turn for the worse right after midnight, and I made it to the hospital, and I was there. So I had to go home, hurry up and go to sleep, get up, drive to Chicago, do this gig with car problems, and get home. And then get out to see my mother immediately the next day. Now, the one thing I did take comfort in is that my brother was in town. So that was a good thing. If my brother hadn't been in town, I don't know what I would have done. But, because I was going to leave Mom alone, right? The thing is that my father had such a work ethic. I mean, the guy was just an animal through all the time I was a kid. It was 12-hour days, 7 days a week, sometimes longer. And he told me a few years ago, he said, "You work too hard." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Nobody works as hard as you do." And he says, "No, I can't do what you do. You can't do what I do. You work too hard. Slow down and be careful." Having said that, this man did go to work the day his mother died, and I was thinking about that. The reason he went to work the day his mother died is because he felt like he was needed at work. And I felt like I was needed. And there wasn't anybody to come in and do the job. Not the way I felt I could do it. The show must go on, That is, I guess, kind of the tragedy of our field of work. Sometimes the show must go on. There will be circumstances that we all have where it just can't. We absolutely can't do it for whatever reason. And it's not that I couldn't do it. I really didn't want to do it. But I did it. And it all worked out. And, something I learned from my dad was patience and understanding. And these are the things I was thinking about as I was doing this gig, no matter how I felt. And I can't even describe how I felt. But no matter how I felt, I needed to have patience and understanding with anybody at that event who came up to me and maybe would give me a hard time about a request, or maybe they were drunk or something. And it all worked out wonderfully. Everybody was cool. Anything that may have been a bad situation if I would have reacted the wrong way wasn't. It was all good stuff because I exercised that patience and understanding. It was tough, man, and that's just the way it is in our line of work sometimes. And right now we're going through the whole thing. We just had a visitation tonight with my dad here in Wisconsin. We are originally from Richmond, Indiana, and his wishes were to be buried there. There is a plot there and a stone. It's been there for years. I visited it just as a joke. We've gone together. But we're going there for real this time on Saturday. So our journey isn't over. We still have to handle this. And it's nonstop. It's just absolutely nonstop. I'm getting my truck fixed because of that front end problem. It's going to come out of the shop tomorrow. And I think I'm going to drive my family down on Friday morning. We'll be back Sunday. I've got so much cool stuff to show you guys too. I was so excited about a shipment that was coming in. And I was telling Dad about it too. I knew it was coming, and I was telling all about this project that I'm going to be doing, and I was excited about it, and why it was cool, and why I think people like it, and he was excited about it. He maybe didn't understand it, but anything that I was doing, he was always interested in, and he listened and wanted to know as much as he could about it and try to understand it, and that was just cool. But I guess the moral of the story is, again, the show must go on. And the other thing I wanted to just say again is thank you for your patience. I'll get back to work as soon as I can and knock some videos out. Had to start somewhere, and this is an emotional one. If you guys know me, I don't like drama, but I guess I just wanted to put it out there. That's it, guys. I'm cool. My family's cool. My mother is a total badass, and us kids aren't as tough as she is, but we're pretty tough. We're going to be able to knock this out, and we're going to be okay. So I'll see you soon. Thank you for your patience. Stay tuned for some more really cool stuff coming up here on this channel. Practice and enjoy.